Folks, GWT here. I'm going to have to make this video into two parts. I hope you watch both parts. And the next one coming up after that is going to be on the sixth seal, which the flat earth is the opening of the sixth seal. Or very well could be. Metaphorically, it fits like a glove. Retake. One thing the controllers want in their methods of changing the world is to make data the number one most important thing of humanity. They say that data makes you learn. Well, your data helps them to learn more about you. It's all about numbers with the New World Order, not humans. Numbers and them knowing and controlling your data. People learned to live with one another long before there was surveillance and long before there was data, and they spent less time doing whatever it was that they wanted to do, and they had less headache. They had more of their own feelings, their own sense of independence or individuality. And now people's minds become controlled when they wake up and realize that there's cameras and microphones on them all at a time. I believe this house that I'm in right now is microphone, because every time I start talking loud, every time somebody asks me a question that I really don't want to answer, and I do, some of what I said seems to have some effect on something later down the road. I just don't get it. There's a listening, there's ears. There's ears in my house. Another thing, with all of the surveillance and the technology that the enforcers of the New World Order has at their use, has at their disposal, you don't need identification. They can ID you anytime they want to. If they can see you, they can identify you. They've got information on your eyes, on your face, on your voice. And some cams can read your fingerprints off of door handles, railings, printed or waxed or wet or dry surfaces, either one. They can read your fingerprints. You're walking down the street and you happen to touch something. If they zoom in on it, they'll get your fingerprint right off of it. They know who you are if you're in any part of their system. Once you're in any part of any system, any state, any county, they know you everywhere, because all them systems are connected, folks. Just like television. Television controls almost all critical thinking. That means no one thinks critically, because they let their news commentators and their weather people who have to swear to secrecy so they don't tell anybody that the HARP machine's creating the weather. How else do you think they can forecast 10 days of weather? They program their supercomputer. They get a readout. How do you think they can forecast the weather 10 days ahead of time, folks, if they're not controlling it? You see, folks, somebody needs to take, somebody who's got a lot of money, more than they need or more than they can spend, they need to make some kind of TV channel. If they have to surround it with bodyguards, with mercenaries, that'd be a good use for mercenaries to protect a public television broadcasting station. That'd be a perfect thing for them to do, because everything you're getting on TV right now, I wish there was another way that y'all could get your information other than television. If you were to cut all news off of television, all Discovery, all that stuff, and go to YouTube, about 10% of it is dead on. But the rest of it, folks, I can understand how some Christians just can't get along, and the reason that it is because Christianity is a thing of the past. If we had Christianity today, there would be mass numbers. I mean mass numbers. I think America's supposed to have 300 million people in it. If Christianity was alive today, I would say more than likely about 1 out of 3 in America should be a Christian, because not too many years ago, I would say 1 out of 3 definitely was a Christian, or tried to act like a Christian. They got along with each other, and that's because of things like a channeler, Derek Jester, J-E-S-T-E-R. He said there's no such thing as Christianity anymore. Y'all ought to give that video a listen to, and just listen to his thought process. If you don't agree, you don't agree. That's what's wrong with Christianity today. Christians don't agree on nothing. They really don't. No one can agree on anything related to the Bible. When you get 2 or 3 people that can agree on something in the Bible, if they're not blood kin, there could be something that's connecting those spirits and those minds. Everything was put before us, and none can follow the same thing. Everybody gets to look at the same thing, and how come everybody goes in different directions after they look at the same thing? Everybody is right too. Everybody's right, because everybody got their sermon, and none of all the rest are correct. Each channeler who's preaching a sermon, he's top dog. He's the number one. Another thing Gesture was talking about is no third temple yet to be built, because that third temple, I believe, is supposed to be man. But it's another thing, and it's a whole bunch of other scripture, and that guy Derek Gesture said that it was fulfilled already. He said Christ has already returned, and all that was fulfilled by 70 AD. And he said the 144,000 are already sealed and gone, long time ago. But I got a lesson coming up. After this video right here, I've got a lesson coming up. And I'm going to mention something about the 144,000 in that, and with the sixth seal, which we're going in, which the people who recognize the spiritual significance of the flat earth, they have gone. The sixth seal is broken already for them. And shame of it all, there's only me and Dan 12 that believes that the flat earth is a spiritual awakening, and we've accepted the invitation to the marriage supper of the Lamb, folks. There's only 2 of us that believe this. I'm going to try to lay it out for you in my next lesson, and any of you people that think you're a Christian, or I would urge you to look at it. I hope it's going to be good. We might be the descendants of those souls given to Satan for its 1,000-year reign. We don't know who we are, folks. We don't really 100% know where we came from. We've been told that we've come from so many different sources, but I have to say it. The Bible is the only thing so far that seems to have the most truth in it of anything else that has entered into my consciousness in my whole life. If you think about it, who can say with all the BS in today's information that is given to the sheeple to look at, who can say what you can believe and what you can't believe? Of all the data that I have come across, and all the data that has been stolen off my computer, the Nibiru videos are not bothered. All kinds, everything else is taken off my computer, but they leave the Nibiru videos on there. Unless they take all of the videos and take an entire folder that has Nibiru material in it. But isn't that something? Like I said, I think the third temple might be man. It could be, and that would be world association, folks. The abomination that causes desolation in the temple of God could be transhumanism, which will be easier controlled and easier identified by the New World Order's surveillance system as a number of the beast. And a good number of the beast is your Social Security number. You know, they've spent so much money in research, killed so many people and so many animals. And when I say people, they kill people against their own will in their research. And they kill people who volunteered their life to science. And a lot of them people died. But with all of the death, with all of the money spent, all of the BS laboratories and jobs created, all the taxes generated off of everybody's salaries and all of this work, folks, they have created the cancers, folks. They know what causes the cancers, and they still produce and put those substances in contact with humanity. And they've got cures for those cancers. They've got antidotes for those cancers. But they don't give them to the little sheeple. The money turnover is so astronomical. And then everybody, folks, I'm telling you, everybody's all strapped down. They're sitting in chairs. Everybody's got an IV. Everybody's got a tube. Everybody's got this. And when you look down the line, like a doctor's office might have that chemotherapy stuff, they might have 3 or 4 or 5 people all in the office at one time. And they look like a little assembly line. They're guinea pigs. They're human guinea pigs. They can cure these diseases. They shouldn't even be making the diseases and putting them on them. But they generate. I mean, people under chemotherapy, some of them people take 20, 30 pills a day. 20, 30 pills. My mom almost got like that. She was going through chemotherapy too. It's crazy. They create it. The pharmaceutical industry makes money. The insurance companies make money. They create sickness to make money. That's serious. They use a bunch of bogus and a bunch of joking kind of treatments and stuff. Their laboratories or humans are strapped. I mean, the things are penetrating their bodies. Lines are going into them, different kinds of people, all connected to stuff the same way. It's your lab rats, your test subjects. They create cancers to kill you, and they're playing with you the whole time you're dying. They're playing with you. They're charging you money. They're not making you well. They're making you sick. Then they're charging you and everybody they can to play act like they're trying to cure you. My next video is going to be about the sixth seal. It's going to be about the flat earth, which represents the opening of the sixth seal. Don't miss it.